Hi, this is Derek Jordan. Welcome to the World Fusion Show, where we bring you the leading innovators in world fusion music. Today, we are doing a special on-location show from Sobobade in Senegal, West Africa. And we have a special guest host, Tony Vacca, who's been on the show many times. He is interviewing and playing with a wonderful world fusion musician, Stefanie Sylla, who is a violinist, singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and really visionary musician. And we're going to go right to Tony in Senegal. And this particular show starts with Tony and Stefanie playing. Stefanie's playing the violin, and Tony is playing the balafon.
Fusion show. My name is Tony Vacca, and we are in Senegal, West Africa. We're here at the paradise, the musical paradise called Sobobade, and I'm here with Stefanie Sylla. Not only is Stefanie well known for being a world fusion violinist here in Senegal, she's brought together musicians from Europe and West Africa in really innovative and spectacular ways. But as if that's not enough, she's also been to India, and her journey started in Germany. So way more going on than I can keep track of. So tell us how all this started and how you wind up here.
So all this started when I was a small child, when I was only 3 years old, and I told my mommy, I want to play violin. I've never heard violin, never heard,
wow.
But I knew a guy who was walking with a violin, and I knew I wanted to have this because he never seemed to be lonely. He never seemed to be alone.
Wow.
So that was actually the case for me. I always wanted to have a real brother and sister, but I only have part sisters and brothers. So my choice was the violin. This will be my sister.
This is so like you. I want to do that.
Yeah. And my mother said, no, she's a trombonist. You know, she hates violin. She hates violin. She said, no, you have to play piano. And I don't know how it happened, but then I started just following my way. I spent many hours, the children were just playing. I was just spending my time playing violin all day. And so then I in Europe and Germany, I started the classical violin. And whenever there was something like in classical violin, you have very often 4/4 quarters,
yeah,
right? Like
yes.
so, and whenever there was like some composer put a bar in 5/4 suddenly in between, I was like, whoa. What's that? This changes all the rhythmical patterns.
Yeah.
And this is what I was always interested in. And then, I don't know, through meditation, through some life experiencing things, I discovered India as a rhythmical pendant.
Makes
can I say
sense.
this?
Makes sense.
Like with the tabla, I was very interested what the people do with only one hand rhythmically. You know, it's amazing. And so I traveled India for meditation reasons, for self-experience reasons, and also for in search of my musical background, because it's not Europe, although I've learned in Europe. But this is more like a new phase. I knew from ancient times or ancient history, and somewhere in my vibrational system, I knew my base is actually not in Europe.
I can relate to every word you just said.
Yeah.
Because, in a way, it's humanity we are part of. And any place or nation, that's good, it's a local address. But we're human beings, and it's the world that is our family, yeah?
Yeah.
And I hear that every time you play. I hear the software drums and I hear the voices. I hear the string instruments, I see the box drums. I mean, and you've got a family with you on stage that really says we're all in this together. And how did you wind up coming to Senegal? I mean, that's...
So, like as I said, I'm a traveler soul in a way, and I collect like pieces of myself in different kind of worlds. So it was India, and then when I was 14, I had a letter friend. We changed and exchanged, and he was very much into African music. And those days, it was not interesting for me, not at all. And he said, "You have to go to Senegal." When I was 14 only, and then I went with him to see some drummers in Berlin, some djembe players, but I could not find anything there, So I didn't feel anything, and then I just went. Like I said, I had to go to India first to hear the tabla in a softer way, because the djembe also, it's very loud, and sometimes I was a bit shocked by the loudness and by the directness of the instrument, So then many years later, I was pregnant actually with my first child, and then a friend told me of a festival in Senegal, and the director would love me to play here. But I was only pregnant. I was like, no, it's not the right time. It's not the right timing now. But I know I have to go because it's not calling for the first time. Senegal is not calling for the first time. So 5 years later, actually, I went. Or 6 years later, yeah. Then I went here for the first time. And what I experienced then is like, actually, as I said, the loudness. First, I heard all the drummers and I was shocked. My heart was vibrating in such a resonance that I wanted to go home directly again.
Really?
Yeah. It was so hard for me, but then, I don't know how, I realized something. I let the drums go within, go through me, and not let them stuck here. And then I experienced, oh my God, this is 10 drummers playing. This is 10 fingers playing the tabla. This is 10 drummers playing. And if I don't relate to the loudness, to the heaviness, but if I only listen to the rhythmical point, it is like a tabla, but with like the rhythmical exchanges.
Right.
It's like so many different layers in one hand, like the same layers you'll find with 10 people here when they're playing. And so I really felt, oh my God, this is really home, And then the project started. I don't know how it started, but it just started. It just started, yeah.
So maybe for everyone watching, this would be a good time to show a clip of what Stefanie does with players here in Senegal. Cool.
Sit, 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 a bitty bed, a little bit with me under that tree. Look, 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 you stood, you nearly stood one day in my way, in my way. If I were, what evilly?
That was cool, playing
Thank you.
together. And this happens to me often, that the tuning of the balafons can sometimes be a challenge. And of course, I saw you playing with kora players, I saw you playing with string players. So in your world, how do you find your way to the tuning of these many instruments, some of which predate the tempered scale?
Yeah, tuning is a challenge, but for me, I love tuning. Since I was a child, I love tuning, and I tune my violin never with a like these things for guitar, you know.
Right.
I always tune it with a hard vibrational field of my momentary state.
Wow.
So in kind of this, I always love tuning. So also in Germany, I'm playing with a kora player, with a great person, Stefanie Sylla. And we had a project together. I wanted to play with him and sitar, with the queen of string instruments, kora, sitar, and viola d'amore. I discovered a viola d'amore, which is actually the ancient European string instrument, which combines viola and violin. Actually, in those days where the people had time for tuning, because it has resonant strings.
Think about that. People had time for tuning.
Yeah.
Like, what else is there time for if you're playing? You better have time for tuning. But
Yeah.
that's a great point.
And that
That's
was
a great
really
point.
challenging to these instruments to me, sitar, kora, and violin. We had a concert. We had 3 days of practicing, like of rehearsing,
Right.
and I think 3 hours a day, and we tuned 2 hours, and we played 1 hour, and that was. I don't know. I cannot tell you that this is an experience which no one really understands, who doesn't know how to tune, who doesn't love tuning. Because tuning for me is just finding the right frequency of the room, also
Right.
where you're at,
Sure.
and of the people. You find time in tuning.
Right.
And today we didn't have to tune because we were online. We were
Right.
tuned already.
Right,
So
right.
that was beautiful.
Well, I mean, in my world, I like to say that, if the physicists are correct, then all matter vibrates. And if vibration in air is sound, then it's all sound. Our bodies are sounding, everything is
Right.
sounding. So I completely get what you're bringing up here, because we're trying to raise the bar on our experience of being alive and the way we vibrate with everything. But still, I mean, okay, I get it. The violin, there's no frets there.
No.
Wherever, it's all fluid.
Yes.
We're here, it's the note, and it's the note, and it's the note.
Yeah.
And I can barely change a note by maybe applying a substance to the bottom of the key to change the vibration. But you are in a on an instrument that by its nature is open.
Yeah, it's like the voice, right? Like it's more like the voice actually. It goes fluent. Yeah.
So how, when you're tuning, are you changing your position? Are you changing the strings or both? You know,
When
you're
I'm
playing your
tuning,
violin.
when I'm playing.
Yeah, you change the string, but what about where you put your fingers? How do you handle this? Is a lot of this is a lot of possibilities.
That's right. So sometimes I have the things. If I, for example, with my Senegalism band project, sometimes we have some tunes where I start with a violin, and then everyone is singing, and then we have solo voices coming. You know, so the tuning goes like this because everyone finds the vibrational field. Then and I have to catch it back with a violin. Then later, you know, this is challenging. Then I do the tuning with my hand.
Right.
So then I hear where they are at, and I try to just go down with them, you know, just go. I do it with a hand, but normally I just tune like I tune.
Okay.
I mean, I just tune.
You're finding your way. No, I get it. You're into.
Yeah.
And that tunes it up. So clearly you're an adventurer. You're a world fusion daredevil. You're in the club. I get it. So what do you imagine next?
Actually, what I can imagine next. So the next step, what I'm doing is like to support with my violin a great artist here in Senegal also. So, and I could imagine that because in Senegal the violin is not so well known, and it touches many people and many hearts, and and this is actually what I love. So because I feel when I'm tuned, for example, when I'm not tuned with my life, when I feel not balanced in my life, some situation, and I play with my violin, the violin tunes me. So whenever I play, I'm home. I feel tuned. So no matter which people, also people I would not like in person, but when I play with them, we get online, you know.
Right.
So this is the thing, and what I like, what my mission is like with the violin is I don't know why, but I have a feeling this tunes something in the heart of people when I play, because it tunes me. So why shouldn't I tune others? You know. So this is what I do, and rhythmically, I could imagine to what I said to do a project like something which. For example, to have a tabla pattern, but play it with the drums, play it with African musicians, you know, like a tabla pattern. And these kind of things, adventures, I don't know. I like those kind of experiments.
All I can say is I'm looking forward to what's next.
Yeah, thank
because
you.
of what has come already. We're going to sign off from Senegal, West Africa. Stefanie Sylla, I'm Tony Vacca. Lucky me, I got to do the World Fusion Show here in Senegal, West Africa. See you later.
Thank you, Tony Vacca, for that great job as guest host on the show. We're definitely going to be having you back for more on-location shows in the future. Thank you for being with us. This is Derek Jordan. Thank you for joining us today on the World Fusion Show. And remember, think globally, listen locally, and support independent music.